Hey guys, it's your boy Kenny Howard right here at Cichlid World Tank, the one that keeps it real. I don't claim to know it all, but I do believe I know enough to be able to help somebody else. You can follow me on Instagram at Cichlid World Tank, where you can check out a lot of my videos and pictures that I post to these guys, the fish room, other fish that I have daily. But today, man, we're gonna be talking about what I feed these guys, how I feed these guys, man, which I think is very, very important. But not only how I feed them, when I feed them, and what I feed them. We all know that bloat is the #1 leading cause of diseases and death in African cichlids. And I do believe in what you feed these guys has a lot to do with that. But before we go into further, let's first take a look at what I feed these guys. Okay guys, this right here, this is my lineup as far as what I feed my fish. I pretty much got, what I love most, what I love giving them most, from beginning to end, starting right here at the veggie. But let's get a closer look at what we got here, guys. Here we go, veggie by Northfin. We got Cichlid by Northfin, Creole Pro by Northfin, Omega-1 Cichlid pellets. We got the Jumbo Creole. We got the Omega-1 brine shrimps, and we got this right here from Cunningham Cichlids, man. Shout out to my man Cunningham Cichlids, good quality fish. This right here is that premium cichlid flake, man. I think this right here is gonna make its way up right around about #1 or 2 as far as my favorites and what I give my fish. And we're gonna talk about that here in a second. But this right here, guys, is my lineup. Now let's see how I actually give this to my fish. Okay. First thing first. I feed my fish 6 days out of the week, and there's a reason why I do that and not 7. I definitely love to skip a day to get my fish digestive system and all things of that sort to purge itself and get itself together. But for the most part, man, I feed my fish 3 days out of the week. I feed them twice a day. 2 days out of the week, I feed them once a day. I skip a day. And after that day that I skip, coming off that day of fast, I give them a straight veggie. But on 3 days out of the week, this is what I do. I got my my Northfin, like you seen before, Northfin veggie here. I got the Northfin Cichlid pellet here. I got the Creole Pro Northfin pellet here. I got the Omega-1 Cichlid pellet here. I take all 4 of those guys and I mix them all in one bag evenly. Maybe a little bit more veggie than the rest of them, but for the most part, I mix them all together, and that's what I feed 3 days out of the week. Now, on the 1 of days, this is what I like to bring in. When I just feed 1 a day, I would either give them this here, or either the Omega-1 brine shrimp. And the reason why these 2 right here basically considered me personally a treat, a good treat. They love it, high in protein. This stuff right here would actually, of course, fish is all muscle, man. So at the end of the day, anytime you give muscle, and these guys constantly working out, they're swimming back and forth all day long. And of course, whenever you're working out, you got protein, you got mass. That's why these guys get so big, man. You give them protein. And of course, with the moving around and constantly working those muscles, and you feed them protein, of course, they're going to get big. But I try not to feed this often, and there's a reason why. We'll continue to get to that a little later. But of course, on Saturdays, I feed them nothing. I don't give them anything on Saturdays. And then after that day of fast coming off of Saturday, I give them straight veggie, the Northfin. And the reason why is because, of course, even in life, man, you come off a fast, you fast. Of course, you don't want to eat nothing heavy, nothing greasy, nothing, that's going to have you feeling weighted down or nothing of that sort, because your digestive system just went through a process of purging, and it kind of, I'm not going to say it weakens it, but it's not as strong as it was when you've been eating 5, 6, 7 days, 9 months, however long you've been eating back to back. It's not as strong. So basically, you want to go light. And I just basically just give them that veggie there, man, which constantly helps them to, purge and cleanse out the digestive system. And of course, the veggie, we all know that veggies could be high in fiber. And what fiber does, it goes into the walls of the intestines and scrapes it. So that's why I say, you know, the veggie is very, 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 very good for your cichlid, man. Make sure that your cichlids are actually getting some type of veggie, because what's going to actually happen there, the vegetables with that high fiber going to go in and scrape the walls of those intestines, which is going to help with bloat and all things of that sort, man. I do believe that the reason why you know, we do suffer from bloating dealing with our African cichlids is due to what we feed these guys. And a lot of times, you know, we love to see these guys eat, man. We love to see them eat. And I know, you know, 90% of the people out here are actually overfeeding their fish, man. And for the most part, that's where bloat comes from. Me personally, they say, you know, some people can argue that, but me personally, I think it really comes from overfeeding your fish and basically what you feed them. You know for a fact, you yourself, if you don't get no vegetables, you know, you constantly putting stuff in and you're not going to the bathroom, clogging up your system, what's going to happen? You're going to become bloated. We get big. That's self-explanatory. So the same thing with your fish here, man. You constantly giving them fat, giving them protein, and you're not giving them nothing to flush out their digestive system. And what you think is going to happen? So a vegetable is very, very important. My fish get vegetables every day. Like I said, I mix that veggie North End pellet up in there, man. They get that every single day. The only time they don't get it is when I feed the one a day with the jumbo creel here. For the most part, this is what I do often on my one a days. Every now and then, I will use the omega-1 brine shrimp, but this have a tendency to break up and you know, it just be all over the place, cloud the water. I'm not really cloud the water, but it's just, it can have your water pretty dirty. So I kind of like, you know, every once in a while, but they do love it, so I do give it to them every once in a while. But for the most part, on my once a days right here, I give them the jumbo creel. They go crazy for this stuff, man. They fight over this stuff. It'd be crazy when I put this jumbo creel in my tank. But this right here, man, like I said before, this Cunningham Cichlids premium flakes here. And the reason why this may make its way up basically to number one or number two as far as what I give my African cichlids is due to the fiber that's in this stuff right here, man. As high as I done seen it. The crude fiber in these flakes right here, man, is 7%. You know, basically in the North End, I think it's like 5%. In the omega-1, I think it's like 2%. I'm not really sure. Let me see here. Okay, the Fiber Max in the jumbo creel, basically, man, it's sitting right here saying, you know, 19%. But it's very, 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 very high in protein. So that's why I pretty much, you know, I give it just once a week, because what you don't want to do, you don't want to overload in the protein, because you overload in the protein, that can be one of the leading causes of causing your fish to, you know, become stuffed and even bloat, man. It can really mess your fish up on a really high protein consistent diet. Now, of course, everything we give these guys got a lot of protein in it, but this jumbo creel and that brine shrimp has a lot of protein. That's why they say when you give it, you only give it as a treat. But this right here, man, I reached out to my man Cunningham tonight, said, yo, I need some more of this. I didn't know it actually had that much fiber. You know, and as a nutrition specialist, man, I know all about good health. You know, so if I know how to take care of myself, I definitely know what it takes to be able to take care of these guys as well. And I do know that fiber, man, make sure your fish is getting enough fiber. I cannot stress that enough. Make sure your fish is getting enough fiber. Like I said, that fiber goes in, man, and scrape the walls of the intestines of your fish and clean them out. I hate not feeding my fish on Saturdays. I be feeling so bad for them, but I know it's good for them. And coming off, like I say, coming off that day of fast, I give them that straight veggie, and that's it. When I give them that veggie, that's all they get that day. And I don't give them as much as I usually would give them on the 3 days, and when I give the concoction or what I give them as far as the pellets, but I do just give them enough after that day of fast to just keep them, you know, being cleaned and flushed out, man. But that's the reason, man. That's the reason why these guys looking the way they look, striving the way they striving, is due to how I feed these guys when I feed them, and actually how I feed them. I just actually lost, man, my tetrastigma, man, Beauty, man. He was he was a monster, man. I love that guy, but I lost him due to bloat. You know, I performed quite a few different procedures on him. I even did a surgical procedure. I actually, you know, was told by a guy I hit him with a syringe, and you know, he didn't make it. But at the end of the day, you know, I actually, did a surgical procedure on him. Where I actually, stuck him with a syringe and tried to, relieve some of the stress of sucking out some of the bloat, some of the, the fluids, the body, the liquid fluids that he was actually holding. It kind of relieved him for a little while. It kind of went down, but it came back, and eventually he ended up dying. But I know for a fact where it came from. I was overloading on the krill, man. I think I was giving the krill and the brine shrimp like 2, maybe sometimes 3 times that week. Just loving to see these guys just go super crazy as far as how I get a krill and when I get a krill. But I knew that's where it came from, man. I was overdoing it on the protein, so I kind of like cut back. It kind of scared me a little bit to the point now where I've even have extended my one-a-days due to that. But of course, I'm going to get back on my regimen here because I know for a fact that how I feed these guys is how these guys got to the point as far as where they at as far as size and even looks and things of that sort, man. But we all know that we all love to see these guys eat, man. But make sure you feeding your guys what they supposed to get, how they supposed to get it, and when they supposed to get it, man. That's key. Okay, YouTubers, I got a special treat for you guys, man. Anybody that's looking to get some of that Cunningham Cichlids Premium Cichlid Flakes, I got a promo code for you guys. It's CWTank10. If you go on his website and you go to order any of his food, any of his fish, like I said in the video, man, good quality fish, good guy. Like I said, the promo code is CWTank, CWTANK10. Use it and get your 10% off. Good luck.